Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here today and to have and share space with somebody who I happen to think it's amazing. I don't know if you noticed, but today we're going to talk to Frank. And the conversation is pretty much about mindset and fitness. So, just for everybody to know how I met Frank is actually at F45. We both work out there. And we used to go to the 5 in the morning class. So Frank is one of the guys that just showed up one day. He was brand new and he just showed up to work out with that confidence and that drive and that just ready to sweat and leave everything in the floor type of presence. So ever since then, he obviously always showed up. He was super consistent, and you can just tell that he had like a certain drive. So I'm super excited to have him today and to invite him to join me. Let's see, Frank. I'm not really good at these things yet. You would think it would be good, but we're gonna share space and then talk about it. And if you have any questions, then we can just cover them. But if you have any questions, go ahead and type them on the chat. I'll try to be mindful of it. And round of applause for Frank showing up to the stage.
Hey, Telma, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can. Can you?
Okay. Yeah. No, I can hear you good. I just wanted to make sure I did this right. I've never done this before. This is exciting.
Oh, congratulations on your first live. I feel honored. So really quickly, I just told everybody how I met you was one random morning looking exhausted at the gym at 5 in the morning, but still showing up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
So, okay, I'll get started with why I really wanted to interview you. And it's the reason what I noticed when I first saw you show up to the gym. You had like this presence of the fact that you just want to show up and get it done and really leave not only sweat marks, but you just left, well, now you moved, so, but you left like a whole family behind, a whole community of everybody at F45 being a huge fan of you. So tell me a little bit about, well, you picked the topic. So tell me a bit about mindset.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for me, obviously, you know, like being at F45, like everywhere I go, I've always tried to, I guess, make an impact, right? And I've always tried to make friends. I've always tried to network. And honestly, before it was, I was doing that because I did it because I didn't really like myself. So I was trying to like, okay, well, people seem to like this guy, so I'm going to kind of mold myself to this guy. And people like this guy, and so I'm going to mold myself to be a little bit like this guy. But, you know, once I switched my mindset, I was able to really just begin to be who I am because I was digging down deep into myself at that time. And instead of like, I think like probably the person that you saw when I walked in was probably the actual person who I was. You know, and that was like, you know, I was a little quiet, right? Like I remember walking in and you were like the only person who actually said hi to me on the first day. So Telma was awesome. But then it was like, for me, I was cracking into like a new, way of thinking. I wasn't doing it to impress others or to be like somebody else. I was doing it to really see how far I could really push myself. And I think that was the most amazing thing where I could really start to, like it just really just break into a whole new like way of thinking. And that's where my mindset started to change. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's so much more before that and, you know, that I could dive into. But yeah, so yeah, my mindset is the biggest thing for me.
But let me stop you right there. You say that mindset obviously changed. So you were entering this new phase of yourself, like, I am here to prove how far I can go as myself. But before that, you were not necessarily there. You were just trying to prove something to somebody or fit in. What triggered that decision of like, this is for me now? Like what happened? Or you don't have to get, you know, you can get as deep as you want, but just there's normally something that happens in between. I have an experience similar to that. Um, if there's like a switch in mind that you just decide, fuck everybody, oops, for everybody else, that this is for me, and then
No.
you start, right? So what was it for you? Whoops.
Yeah, no, it was no, I mean, but honestly, like that's a little bit of the mindset that kind of like clicked in for me. Because yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it started when I was very, very young, obviously. Like I had a lot of I was always kind of seeking my mom's attention. My mom was a single parent. I was always seeking her attention, and I got that attention when I did things well, right? And like when you're a little kid, you're like you can't really like understand like why she's around, like she's around but then she's not around and she's around. So but in my mind I thought it was because I did something right, and so it started there. It continued into high school, into college, into adult life, where I was always trying, like I couldn't have a conversation with my family unless I was telling them what I was doing well, right? And I finally got to this point where I was like, no, Frank, you need to start doing well for yourself. Like you need to be okay. You need to be the person that you want to be, your best self, and then move forward. And it started with really just like changing my mindset. Like growing up with a single mom, I had these ways of thinking that I had to unlearn, and then I had to relearn new things. And so yeah, the trigger for me was definitely like I got a divorce. I moved to Arizona. I lost a lot in that, and I wasn't okay. I wasn't myself. I needed to make a change at that point. And so I kind of started like getting into the mindset game. I started getting into like, reading books about like David Goggins and, like Tim S. Grover. He writes about like he was the one who trained Kobe and Michael Jordan and stuff like that. And so I just really just started to understand, okay, like, because I've always had this like competitive edge that just is, it's almost, to me, it's a little scary. Like, to me, it's like, okay, if I don't harness it well, like I'm gonna, like, I don't know what I could do. There could be some casualties around me, not really, but I get a little bit into a zone where, and I was like, okay, I can do it in fitness. Where else can I do it in my life to really hone it in so that I can do good things so that I can now go and care for my family? Because that's kind of always where it's drawn from. But it's like I've always been like grasping for straws everywhere, that it was just kind of I was all over the place. So, but yeah, I don't know if there was like this specific moment. I don't know if there was really a specific moment, but I just finally was just like, you know what? I have to dig down deep into myself and be who I am, because everybody else is taken,
Yeah, and we need you just the way that you are. There's a lot of people that I feel like we every single, including myself, we always try to fit in for some reason when it's a new area, when it's a new phase in our lives, when it's because we don't know. There's not like a transcript of like how to be yourself in all positions of your life or in all areas and stay true to yourself by still providing what is needed of you. And it's so the fine line gets really, really slippery sometimes, but that is awesome that you discovered it. And then you link, I feel like it feels, or it looks like to the outside world, me as a spectator, that you definitely find like your true self when you're working out. Like you link the two of them to where you can tell that you're there to just prove yourself that you're there to get it done,
Yeah.
So yes, you were competitive. I remember when we worked together, we looked at the event and you really like to be on top of the sweating chart. I was like, if you were not in red, you were like, and more burpees.
Yeah. Well,
but
and it was almost like the fitness piece was like a way for me to like push myself, right? Like it was, I could, like the mindset thing was changing. I was like, okay. So like in those workouts, I was like, okay, Frank, are you really tired? Like, no, you're not tired. Keep going. Like it was kind of like I was always having this like mental conversation with myself where I'm like, no, you're not. Like, go do it. Like, I don't understand why you think, because obviously, like, okay, my legs feel like they're going to fall off. But, like, even that, like, there were times where I would even, like, get to that point where I was like, my legs really hurt. But it was like this mental game of, like, yeah, but you can still go. Like, I don't, and it's funny, like, that's why I love, like, pushing people, especially in fitness class. Not only do I get to, like, push them, but they think I'm probably competing against them, when realistically, I just want to see them push past somewhere where they didn't think that they could go, you know?
Right.
And I'll see somebody, like, laying down at the end of class, and they're like, good job. You're like, I'm like, dude, it wasn't really about that. I was like, but something just happened. You might not realize it now, but something just happened where you pushed past a limit that you didn't think you could go, you know? Because everybody kind of just seems to, like, I feel like they get to a certain point and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. And I'm like, no. You're gonna push past that part because you still got more. Like, if you're not doing your best and leaving it all out on the floor, then why are you there?
Yeah, if you shut up, like I would tell, Marky and I have often this conversation because we're both moms. Sometimes we don't sleep through the night, and we show up and
Sure.
we're like, all right, but at least you shut up. No, we shut up to sweat it, to leave it all there, and then go home. Not the
Yes.
other way around. Like, but that's also it's a decision that you make, right? I don't wake up at 4:30 in the morning to just show up and like and just like I tried, and it's this, you're still showing up, you're still liking the sleep, so might as well make a difference in your body. Use your time wisely, make it count, right?
Yes. Oh, 100%. I mean, honestly, that's probably a lot of the reasons why I won't be a personal trainer, because I'm more or less, like, just because I'm like, if you're going to come in here and you're going to be like, I'm so tired, I'm going to be like, honestly, just to be honest, I don't care. You know, like, let's go get it. You know what I mean? Like, let's go get it, because right here is where you can really you can kind of block all that out and you can really just go for it, because then I just think it's going to set you up for the rest of the day, you know? Like, and I was actually talking to somebody today where they're like, man, I wish I had your routine. And I'm like, no, you don't want my routine. You need a mind shift. Like, you need to change your mind in the way that you think about things, because it's realistically, with this specific person, I was like, I don't think you have it hard enough, right? Like, I mean, you don't know what it's like it's okay to be comfortable. It's okay, but, like, if you're going to push yourself to a certain limit, like, you're going to be uncomfortable. And she's got a perfectly functioning brain, right? Like, her brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. You know, stay safe. That sounds too hard. You know, no, that's going to hurt. You know, those things are good. That's
I
what the
never
brain
done
says.
this
But
before.
yeah, but when we're pushing ourselves past that limit, that's success. Like, success is pushing you past those little voices in your head telling you, no, hold on, you shouldn't do that. And anyway, when realistically you should go, hold on, stop what you're saying. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing this.
Do you recognize the fact that maybe you started having that mindset I can't think of the word, the mindset change into your brain trigger more when you started working out and then took it out in the world? Or did it start in your mindset switch of like, I'm gonna show up, do my best, push my limits even more, and then took it?
Yeah.
Like, which one was first, or how did it happen? Like, how do you connect the two of them?
Yeah. Like, honestly, I used to be 280 pounds. So in high school, I played football and I played offensive line. So I was 280. And then when I got to college, I decided to walk away and not play football any longer. And I remember my uncle said, Frank, whatever you do, lose the weight. You know, like, lose the weight. I don't care how you do it. Just lose the weight. Once you get my age, it's not going to happen. And so, like, from that day forward, I was like, you know what? That's it. But honestly, when I look back now, I was doing it because I didn't like who I was, right? Like, I was doing it because I didn't like that person. I didn't want to be Frank. I wanted to look like whoever the big actor was back then, probably Taylor Lautner, right? I got his tattoo on my arm. So, I mean, honestly, like, it was kind of one of those things where I was trying to be like somebody else. And so now it's one of those things like, okay, I like who I am. I'm excited about life. What am I really capable of? And so that's when, so fitness has always been there. I've always worked out, but like I said, I was working out then to run away from the person I was, right? Like I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning and spending 3 hours at the gym because I didn't like who I was. But now it's like I get up because one, it's like my favorite part of the day, and I can push myself to a limit, and then I kind of win that morning because I can't control the rest of the day and what it's going to look like. So
Right.
those things in the morning I can actually control. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite part is I can control the mornings, and then I can go out into the world. And just like today, right, I had to go fix my brakes, and that's why I'm still in the car. I planned on being home and being able to like FaceTime you not in the car, but I'm here. So you just can't control those aspects, but you can control like a run, a workout. You can control some of those things in the morning and how that looks. So
Yeah, and I feel like maybe having that control and that intention in the first thing in the morning also sets you up for success for the rest of the day. I definitely am a sucker for morning routines. I'm a big fan. Like the mornings to myself, I,
yeah,
I, I can. I'm not the same person without it, and it shows and it feels, and it's obvious to the world when I didn't have my morning. But I also think that by doing that and by having a little bit of that control of your morning, it also allows you to be a little bit more compassionate to yourself and to the world through the day. Because yeah, you cannot control if your brakes, like, or my
yeah,
computer crashed, or I dropped out of a meeting without my internet just dropped. Like all the things that happen that don't necessarily make you look good or make you feel good or make you uh, feel like you're succeeding on your day, but then you can really look at like the fact that you didn't have any control over it. So the only thing that I can do is react to it, and the fact that when I work out, I feel like I take a little bit of a step back before I react versus just jumping into it. Because I don't know if it happens to you, but if I like still
yeah,
have the energy of the morning and I'm still like, you would think that I just drank the coffee and I didn't do it, and I'm like that the whole day. But if I work out, then
right,
I can be like, all right, okay, well, I broke the eggs on the way home, scrambled eggs
right,
for weeks. Sorry, like
yeah.
I can chill a little bit more. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like I said, it's all those things I've already discovered are out of my control. So I'll be like, okay, that's fine. You know, like when something crazy happens, like I'll admit it's not always perfect, right? Like the brakes, I was like, are you kidding me? You know, like it's making this like super scratchy sound, and I'm like, oh no. But at the same time, I was able to like, okay, Frank, step back, man. Like, is this really that big of a deal? One, you can take control of the situation because now you can fix it, right? Like, yes, your brakes are screeching, but you're now getting an opportunity to fix it. You know, instead of, oh my gosh, oh my life, you know, like, oh, this is terrible. Like, how am I
It
ever going to
always
get through
happens
this? And
to
all,
me.
yeah, exactly. You start like, why me? And you know, how could this happen? When realistically, I'm like, come on, I'm lucky to have a car, you know. I'm lucky to have the money to go and actually like put brakes on the car. You know, like there's just so many things that I'm paying attention to the problem instead of like all the really good things that I have. So, and I think when I start with a great workout, that's kind of where I go from there because I already know it, nothing is in my control throughout the day. So,
Yeah, that's true.
totally.
Well, I know that you are in a new venture in your life, trying new things. So you want to tell us a little bit about what's coming up? What can we expect? We started with some serious TikToks, right? Some push-ups and dancing, and what's
Yeah.
next?
Oh gosh. What's next? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, well, I'll be honest with you. I actually drive to Atlanta on Friday for an acting slash modeling career opportunity.
Wow.
Which, believe me, I didn't know. It was kind of one of those things. Like I drive for Lyft at times, and somebody jumped in the back of my car, and he kind of brought it up, and I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, are you being serious, or are you just kind of like trying to like, you know, toot my horn a little bit and make me feel better about myself? And no, seriously. And I'm like, okay, well, like, who do you know? You know, because that's what it's about. Like, you know, your net worth is your net worth, right? And so I was like, okay, who do you know? And he was like, so I bugged him for a little bit. I bugged him for maybe like a week or two. And then finally he was like, hey, how about this? I got something for you. Here's some contacts. And so I reached out, and sure enough, he was like, hey, yeah, let's do it next Friday. And I'm like, well, I'm in Orlando, Florida. And he was like, that's okay. He was like, can you be here next Friday? And I was like, yeah, I'll be here next Friday. So I think like just giving myself opportunities to succeed is, and like taking those opportunities has been fun. It's been wild, right? Like obviously I was in Arizona not that long ago. I was in California for a little while, and now I'm in Orlando, and who knows, maybe I'll be in Georgia. But it's been fun to, but like that mindset, like that's another thing. Like I would have never done those things if it wasn't for the complete mindset change. Like I would have been like, oh well, no, that I couldn't do that. Like I really couldn't push myself that. Like really, Frank, you really think you can do that? But it's like going past it and be like, well, why not? Or what if? Like what if I can actually do that? And getting past that and just going, well, I'm making opportunities for myself, so I might as well take advantage of them. So who knows? We'll see. And
Wow,
I
congratulations. This is so exciting. Well, we're going to be keeping an eye on you anyway, because you mentioned a few times that you are definitely into mindset, into fitness, some real estate, love in there too.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
that is so, energy and mindset are so important. Clarita is saying yes, I feel like energy, mindset go hand in hand. The mindset really controls your energy in a way, and the way that you put it out in the world. I know that you and I maybe had a conversation about the fact that it's how you show up in the world that sometimes makes a huge impact. And so yeah, Frank, you're doing great things. We're super excited for you. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we close this off?
I think just to like kind of end it off, I think like honestly, like really just like, I think like when it comes to like always with fitness, I think that we go about it in a way where we're kind of just like masking something, if that makes sense, right? Like we're not really digging down to the true issue. And so I would hope that whatever you're doing, whether that's you need to dig a little bit deeper into your mental health, or you need to dig a little bit deeper into other things, maybe a new job opportunity or something like that, where you're just not feeling fulfilled, I would say go for it. Really look into that and dig deep down to that root cause, because then everything else, I'm really into like the holistic approach to it for sure, where it's not just financially, it's mentally, it's physically, and it's just spiritually as well. Like I want you to be completely well-rounded, because once you're fulfilled, you can go out into the world and help others. And so that's my biggest thing. Obviously, mindset and fitness is kind of where I focus and I get excited about, and that's where I'm passionate about. But I think the holistic approach is really important. And bring your energy in, bring good energy, because if not, you definitely, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve, so when people know that I'm just not into it, people know. Like, and so, so, are you born in July?
Oh my gosh, I am so, everybody says it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm definitely wearing my heart on my sleeve. So bring good energy and really dig down to the root cause, and then just move from there. So that's what I would like to leave everybody with. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure you just made Clarita's day by the holistic approach, because she is a holistic nutritional coach, and the holistic is everything that she's about, and everything that she has taught me a lot about too. And
awesome.
We have noticed that it's also like a better way to just get to know yourself in a deeper level without the contribution of other factors. Maybe giving yourself a true chance by yourself first, and then proceeding with everything. But yeah, it's definitely a combination of financial, physical, mentally, emotional, and all of that. And especially for those of us that were hard in our sleep. No, I'm not about to cry. It's been a day, but I'm good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, and it is, and it's all of it all the time, and it's hard to keep, and so we actually have to have those people that we can kind of lean on. And I think like me and you have definitely leaned on each other over the last little bit, where you can throw something at me, or I could throw something at you, and we're there. Because I think like that was even like someone jumped in my car once, and she was like, yeah, like I could just tell she was kind of into that like energy stuff, and she was like, yeah, my energy's pretty low, and I like literally like it was funny. So I changed the music, right? I changed the music, and she was like, "Are you doing this to change my energy?" And I was like, "Is it working?" And she was like, "Yeah, it is." And I'm like, and it's just like, that's what we have to, like, share those things with each other, right? Like, we have to,
Right.
like, hey, like, Telma, I got you. Like, let me pull some of that in. I'm gonna throw it over here because I'm in a good mood and I'm not picking that on. And then we're gonna be all right, you know. And then if you need to cry, let's cry. Let's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
There's
especially
definitely
that was
nothing wrong. I'm definitely a true believer that there's nothing wrong with a good cry. It helps you release a lot of the energy
so
to
good.
move to better things. But yeah,
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And yes, music is a great way to maybe switch your mindset when you're not feeling all that. Maybe your favorite
Yeah.
song, a good dance, a good, a good, a little reminder that you can move, you can shake it off, you can just still have control of how you want to show up. Well,
Yeah.
Frank, you know that I love having conversations with you. You're amazing. I'm super excited to see what this world comes to see out of you and in the future. Maybe an actor. Who knew? Hey,
Hey, that would be
I'll
sweet.
remind you that we were friends when you.
Oh, don't worry, I'll remember. I won't
Well,
forget you all. I promise.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your light, for sharing your energy, and for
Yeah.
just giving us a little bit of tips on how to go or how it started for you and how to go about it if you're struggling.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Telma. I appreciate it.
Good luck with those breaks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. See you, Telma.